Say something.
Hey, good morning, guys. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Hey.
How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you. How you doing, sweetheart? All right.
Do you mind if I tape what you're saying for my brother?
You can. You can. You have to
he's-
pay extra for that.
Okay.
All right. So basically, first thing I want to do is just get a peek at your scans. We got a variety of scans. Remember this past week, and they basically look normal. There was nothing abnormal in it. They're not going to be able to see. You can't really see a skin cancer with a CT scan or an MRI, but you can see evidence of it doing something weird like metastasizing or spreading or eating into bone, and we saw none of that. Basal cell cancers don't really metastasize like that, but I just wanted to make sure there wasn't something funny going on as far as like some bone or something in the face being invaded. That would definitely steer us to the direction of wanting surgery now.
So he can take a nice deep breath now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So can we, actually, all of us. The only thing that popped up on the scan was it said that the lymphoid tissue in the back of your tongue was a little prominent. That's a really common finding anyway. That's not in itself a big deal at all. So I want to just kind of take a quick peek at that, if we can, just to make sure things look good back there, which I assume they will. That's not where skin cancers spread to.
I don't even care if I take a long look.
Too bad. There were some sub-centimeter lymph nodes in the neck. That's all normal. You and I have that too. So
wonderful.
Open up for me.
That's great news.
Yeah. And the tongue looks fine. Yeah, there's nothing funny going on in there. I'm gonna get. Just gonna open up for me. I'm gonna feel the back of your tongue. Don't bite my finger. It's nice and normal, symmetric. Good. All right. Now, one last thing. I'm gonna get a look at. I'm gonna just take a peek inside your nose hole here. Okay. Now, so what are my recommendations? Remember what I was saying? There's a path, right? You got to decide where you're going to go along the path and take whatever turn we decide on doing. You really have two choices here. Choice number one is to just do surgery, remove the cancer, surgically cut it away. And then when we're done cutting it away, decide what we can do reasonably to reconstruct it. That'll leave you with missing, a good part of your nose here. Okay. Yeah. The options for reconstructing a nose after that's done center around procedures that move tissue from one part of the face to the nose, and that's primarily using that forehead flap repair.
My skin is not good.
Your skin ain't that great, but hey, now those are not to blame. Those are just barnacles, man. That's not.
But I don't want to.
That's like no. That's like keeping a boat when the boat's in the water a long time and picks those up. Okay. But the skin up on the forehead's healthy enough. It's got a good blood supply there because it's a pretty. What we do is there are little arteries and veins that come out of the skull here, a couple of points, and they go up. This is where the blood vessels are kind of directing, and nerves, sensory nerves.
And you take that flap.
Yeah, you basically cut the forehead out here, and you can take it and flip it down in to replace the nose or the part of the nose that's missed.
And you have to put something underneath it there.
Well, the forehead then you can move together. You can move that. You move that right together, back together. So that the standard. Well, not
your
standard.
bone is still there, Dad, in your nose, right?
You're removing cartilage. You would need to fix the internal lining. You need to fix cartilage structure, and you need to fix external lining. So it's a complicated reconstruction. And that's part of the problem is that it requires, minimum of 2, usually 3 surgeries to do over the course of about a month and a half. Okay, so that's a pretty big endeavor to do. And I know you had some question about your age and about your overall general health, but I told you quite bluntly, you're more likely to make it to 110 than I am. Okay.
The only thing I'd hate to go
Or-
through
or
all that
her.
and then die of flat feet or something.
Right, or get hit by a bus or something like that. But so option 1 is to surgically remove this thing, just cut it away. We cut it away, make sure the edges are clear. Once we feel comfortable that the cancer is controlled locally, then we would set up an attempt for reconstruction, starting that ball rolling for repair. We don't start the reconstruction until we're clear. If it was a small cancer, you can do an excision, check the edges, and make sure you're okay. When you're dealing with a larger composite resection of skin, cartilage, variety of different structures being removed, that's the kind of thing you really do need a permanent analysis, a permanent pathology analysis. That's why you got to stage them. The first surgery really, honestly, takes me about an hour to do. It's pretty easy, just cutting the stuff out.
And you do that?
Yeah, do that. And the pathologist looks at it under the microscope. You hear back within 7 to 10 days, make sure everything's fine, and then we can start the ball rolling on reconstruction.
And you said the whole series takes about a month and a half?
At least, yeah, at least. The first surgery, then you bring in, you have to do internal lining, you have to put all the ingredients there, lining of the internal part of the nose, the cartilage structure to keep it just from collapsing and being a blocked structure of nothing, of no use, and then external skin for coverage. Okay, so it's a multiple bit deal. Second surgery is usually to refine that, because it'll go from looking like an eggplant to looking like a nose. And then the third surgery is to then divide. By that point, the blood supply at the nose is sufficient enough to keep that new stuff alive